Hey, this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and I'm bringing you guys a quick review for Retro City Rampage, which I picked up out of the PlayStation Store yesterday. And this is one title that the release date just kept getting pushed back, and it's one that I've been patiently waiting to play after first watching a trailer for it over a year ago. It reminds me a lot of the original Grand Theft Auto title, only with old school Nintendo style graphics and sound. After playing for several hours, I would say I spent 75% of my time just driving and running around the city. So pretty much what you see in the demo and what you're watching in this video is going to be what you're doing through the majority of the time spent with this game, with a few mini games tossed in for good measure. As far as the story goes, if you want to call it a story, it was a mashup of anything and everything popular over the last 3 decades. There were references, of course, to well-known Nintendo titles such as the original Mario and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, popular movies such as Back to the Future and the more recent The Dark Knight, really just too many games and movies to name off, and there were even some music references tossed in there as well. But it didn't make for a very interesting plot line other than a few laughs and nostalgia here or there. It just went all over the place and felt like a mess. For graphics, while it was originally built using the NES software and is billed to be a Nintendo era style game, to me personally it looked more like a Game Boy Color title than a Nintendo game most of the time. You can change the settings for how you want the game to display, and while there are some neat options in there, it still doesn't look very good. And for those about to blast me for complaining on a feature this game was built around, I enjoy playing old school titles and enjoy old school style graphics as much as the next person. But this game felt extremely dated even for the Nintendo era. It was hard to really care or attach myself to what was going on because of how this game is presented, especially when playing on the PlayStation 3. On the Vita, it looks much better and it's not as much of an issue. I definitely had a lot more fun playing on the handheld than the console. The ability to cloud save between the two systems was very much appreciated. I am a PlayStation Plus member, so I'm not quite certain if that's a requirement or not for cloud saves, so be sure to do your own research on that if it's a deal breaker for you personally. While I can appreciate that this game was built mostly by just one person before later bringing in a couple people to help finish it off, I personally just didn't enjoy this game all that much. There were several moments when a reference to an old movie would pop in and make me smile, but overall, I just wasn't digging the core gameplay and purpose behind each mission. Everything is just so tiny on here that it's hard to tell what you're even looking at sometimes. Also, for a title like this, I was pretty surprised at the $15 original price point that it was placed at in the PlayStation Store. That seems a bit steep for this one. On the bright side, if you purchase the PS3 or the Vita version, you do get the other one for free. If you're interested in this title, I would highly recommend checking out the demo before shelling out the cash for it, and that will give you a pretty good idea of what to expect in the full version. But it's not a title that I can personally recommend running out and buying. I don't think it's a bad game. I didn't run across any technical issues, and maybe 15 years ago I would have played this title until my system stopped working. But I would much rather pop in one of the classics that this game is based around than playing through a messy remixed version of it. Anyways, this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and thanks for stopping by.